Welcome everyone to This Explainer. Today we are diving into something truly monumental, the 2026 World Cup Final in New Jersey. I mean, this wasn't just a football match, right? It was this ultimate collision of eras. We're talking about the bittersweet final farewell of an absolute global icon, clashing head-on with the undeniable rise of a brand new dynasty. So let's get right into it and explore exactly how this dramatic changing of the guard unfolded and, what it really means for the history of the sport.
43. Seriously, 43. That is an almost unfathomable age in modern football. Yet there he was. Lionel Messi dared to step onto that pitch in New Jersey, carrying the hopes of Argentina, and honestly, the entire world, one absolutely final time. It's just a massive testament to his unmatched legacy that we all kind of believed he had one last miracle left in him, to deliver on the grandest stage of them all. But as we saw, destiny had a very different script prepared for tonight.
And man, the reality of that new script was just heartbreaking. The best player the world has ever known leaves in tears. That right there was the defining image of the night. It's this stark, really poignant reminder that the dying of the light comes to us all on the pitch. Yes, even the absolute greatest ever. His final World Cup moment wasn't this fairy tale triumph we secretly hoped for. It was a devastatingly human conclusion to literally the most legendary international career we've ever seen.
So let's take a closer look at Section 1, Messi's final heartbreak.
This ultimate passing of the torch was sealed with a deceptively simple scoreline, 1-0. While one legend bowed his head, a joyous Spanish summer night absolutely erupted. And make no mistake about it, this wasn't some chaotic back-and-forth thriller down in New Jersey. Spain's victory was clinical, one-way traffic. They didn't just edge past Argentina, they completely controlled them, leaving absolutely no doubt about who owned the pitch and cementing a truly magnificent achievement.
Which brings us to Section 2, Spain's golden generation rises.
So how did they even get here? Well, 2 summers ago, you might remember this team dancing in Berlin as kings of Europe. Now they've officially elevated to global conquerors. For years, Spanish players have had to walk in the massive, hallowed footsteps of that class of 2010. The ghosts of Johannesburg, guys like Puyol, Piqué, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, and Alonso. But today, players who were once just on the fringes, Williams, Cubarsí, Olmo, they aren't chasing history anymore. They are the ones writing it.
Let's move on to Section 3, Architects of Spanish Glory.
To really understand their total control today, you have to look back at the masterclass they put on against France in the semifinal. They are built on absolute bravery. You've got Dani Olmo scheming and so certain on the ball, Pedro Porro functioning as this incredibly thrilling, thrusting fullback, and Nico Williams basically teasing and tormenting the opposition at every single turn. Their collective poise systematically dismantled the world's best throughout this entire tournament, culminating in today's masterstroke.
It's just this beautifully unique blend of talent. On one hand, you have Aymeric Laporte, French-born, sure, but Spanish to his core, anchoring that back line with immense experience. And on the other hand, you have Pau Cubarsí. This young man bore the suffocating weight of World Cup expectation with magnificent class. As the commentary noted so perfectly during the match, he arrived at this tournament as a boy, and he leaves as a stellar man.
But it wasn't just the star names out there. Spain threw a relentless wave of squad depth at Argentina. Ferran Torres, Eric Garcia, Marc Papil. You had Alex Baena enjoying a massive breakthrough month. And in goal, David Rea proved almost entirely unbeatable. This whole supporting cast was the vital engine behind that one-way traffic, basically ensuring the opposition never even had a second to breathe.
Let's wrap things up with Section 4, a historic changing of guard.
Now the real architect behind all these moving parts is Luis de la Fuente. He's this poised, distinguished father figure and a true teacher of young men. He stepped into a massive role, going where literally only the legendary Vicente del Bosque had successfully led before. And he guided his team with this incredible calmness to a pinnacle Spain hasn't tasted in 16 long years.
And that 16-year wait really brings us full circle. Because until today, the ultimate thrill for Spain belonged only to Iker Casillas on that heady night in Johannesburg. But now, Rodri steps forward to live that same dream. As captain, he is the very embodiment of Spain's modern certainty, poise, and class. He perfectly bridges the gap between the heroes of 2010 and the champions of 2026. 2 stars. As Rodri reached for that gleaming trophy, he cemented Spain's place in the rarest of footballing pantheons, an achievement managed only once before in their entire history. The absolute best team won this tournament, and they earned that second star through undeniable, systematic brilliance out there on the pitch.
Which ultimately leaves us here. We have just witnessed the absolute dichotomy of destiny. The greatest player the world has ever known, Lionel Messi, walking away in tears. The final, definitive dying of his incredible light on the World Cup stage. And in his wake, a brilliant new Spanish dynasty seizing the crown with absolute certainty. So, with the unmatched dominance of this new Spanish era rising to fill the massive void left by Messi's final exit, what exactly comes next for the football world? It's a really fascinating question. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.